everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video, we walked through the step-by-step process of getting Proxmox installed on your hardware. But once that final reboot happens and you're staring to a blank web page, the big question hits. What is this used for? Why should I learn this? And even, what exactly is this thing doing under the hood? So today, we're going to understand what Proxmox is, and we're going behind the dashboard. We're going to see how Proxmox carves up your CPU and RAM, how it builds a virtual network switch right inside your Ethernet port. You ready? So let's go. All right. So most people think of an operating system like Windows or Mac OS or Linux. So you have your hardware, your computer, your server, and then you run one of them. Your whole hardware is dedicated to run one of these operating systems. But Proxmox is different. Proxmox is a hypervisor. This means it sits directly on the server or on the computer you're running it, having direct access to your hardware, and it will, let's say, translate and serve the hardware to your virtual machines. So let's say we have Proxmox running here, and then here we can have multiple computers, what we call virtual machines. And then you can run Windows, you can run Linux, you can run Mac OS, you can run your private cloud, you can run your home automation system. You choose. It's not because Proxmox is based on Linux that you cannot run Windows, for example. You can. You can run Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows Server, Linux. You can run any Linux distribution. It doesn't matter. Right. The storage part is a bit tricky, but I'll try to help here. This is our physical NVMe drive. It's a 512 disk, but it's a bit less than that. But so we have here around 476 gig available. But the important thing is, look at how Proxmox sliced it. The first two partitions, the P1 and P2, are just the bootloader, etc. So this is fine. The real action is on the P3 here. This is where everything is stored. So the pre-swap, just like swap, emergency, whatever, the PVE root is where Proxmox is installed. So this is the local storage that we see on the portal. And the PVE data, this is the big slice, is where all the VM data will be stored. We have these two T meta and T data, just labels. But this is the main section where our VMs will be stored. Now, with this command, the file system view, we zoom in the root 100 gig. So this is where the ISO, the templates, everything, including the Proxmox itself, will live. Whenever we download a new ISO file, it will be stored here. Where is the PVE data? Well, PVE data is not here because it's not a standard file system. We cannot browse it like a folder. It's a pool of like raw blocks waiting for a virtual machine. So it's different. So how can we see that? We see it with a different command. We see with this. So this is the logic view. So here we can see the data that we saw on the first command. So this is exactly the space we have to store our virtual machines. Right. So we have Proxmox, we have our VMs, but how do they connect to the network? We'll need a connection, a physical connection to our switch from our Proxmox physical host, from our host. And then inside Proxmox, there's like a piece of software, like an engine that is called virtual switch. So this switch will create, let's say, different ports that are connected to the physical port. And then each VM will be connected to these virtual ports. Each VM here can have a different IP. We just need to make sure that the physical interface is VLAN aware. Once you create your VM and you assign a network interface to that VM, you just tag the VLAN there. So the VM will get, for example, an IP assigned on that VLAN, or if it's a VLAN with static IP, you will be able to set that static IP and connect directly to that VLAN. So the VMs, the guests, they can be two different types. You can have a full VM that will simulate a BIOS. It will emulate like hardware and everything else. You'll be completely isolated. For example, you'll need to run a full VM when you run, for example, Windows. Or you can have a Linux container. A Linux container is, let's say, a much more lighter VM because it shares the host Linux kernel, meaning that it's like almost zero overhead. So if you need to run a very light server, a web server, for example, or a Docker host, Linux container might be your best friend because it's fast and it boots in seconds. Despite we can use Proxmox in our home lab, it's not designed for users, like for end users. It's designed for enterprises. It's designed for data centers. So if you have a single VM, you're running a standalone node, but you can have multiple hosts and you can cluster them together. So you'll manage everything in just a single view. And you also can set up high availability. So if you have a cluster and something happens to one of your physical PCs, physical servers, Proxmox can automatically restart those VMs in a different server. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.